This is Do We See Too Far Part 2, because Professor Dave was correct with his fourth challenge. If flat earthers think we see too far, then take a photograph of something that is far enough away that on the globe it would be so far below the horizon there is no chance of it looming above the horizon. So in part one, I showed why these two photographs were impossible on a globe, but definitely possible on a flat Earth. And I suggested that the flat earthers listed below the photographs go take them because they already have content on their channel about these areas. So in this video, we're going to examine these two photographs, and they meet the three requirements. First, the target is big enough in angular size to be seen with the human eye, and of course this is definitely not a problem for a P900. Second, the setting or rising sun will be behind the target during some time of the year. And third, the photograph is not possible on a globe. Now, this is an example of the scale drawing I made to show that these photos would be possible on a flat Earth. And I use a combination of actual size, which is on the ruler to the right, and angular size, which is the ruler on the left. Now, if you don't understand how a scale drawing works, I recommend that you go watch my first video because I explained it in detail for the first photograph. Now, in part one, a commenter has suggested taking a photograph of the Rocky Mountains from Kansas, and that is certainly doable. Here we have Pikes Peak in Colorado, and in this area out here between these yellow lines, the sun would be behind Pikes Peak at some times during the year. And definitely at 300 miles, that mountain is not going to be visible on a globe Earth. Now at 300 miles away, the elevation ranges between 2,000 and 2,500 feet, and at 500 miles away between 800 and 1,200 feet. So from 500 miles out, the land slopes up to the base of the Rockies here, where the elevation's between 4,000 to 5,000 feet. Now, I actually did try to spend some time looking for a location out here that had enough elevation so it had a clear view to the west. But as they say, Kansas is as flat as a pancake. And you know how flat earthers are. If there was even an anthill anywhere in front of you, they would claim that that was obstructing the view of the Rockies. Now, I did find a really nice location down here in the Washita Mountains in Arkansas. Unfortunately, it had a really good view looking to the south, but the view to the west was obstructed by trees. But the reality is, if we did live on a flat Earth, people from Kansas would be able to see the Rocky Mountains on a regular basis, as you can see by these scale drawings. The upper one's at 300 miles, the bottom one is at 500 miles. And in both cases, I even subtracted out the base elevation to make it more accurate. But let's move to the next photograph that was inspired by this flat earther. I believe her name is pronounced Jenna Freddo. I'm sure some of you recognize this photograph. She's done a number of videos of Toronto, but the distance is always very short, somewhere between 30 and 40 miles. Waterworld 360 is another flat earther with videos of Toronto. So of course the target for photo number 3 is Toronto, but the location is going to be from Fort Ontario, Oswego, New York. And this is a little bit farther, 145 miles. Now, even though Toronto has the smallest angular size at 0.07 degrees, you can clearly see on this scale drawing that it would easily be visible from Fort Ontario, and most definitely with a P900. Now again, since I've already gone through how I have made these drawings, I'm just going to skim through the information so people can double check my work. The CN Tower is just over 1,800 feet tall. There's one building that is 978 feet, and then there's three buildings right here that are in the range of 900 feet. So on the scale drawing, the 900-foot mark skims the top of the tallest buildings, except for one right here. That is that one that is 978 feet. Then, of course, the 1,800-foot mark is at the top of the CN Tower. Here is the distance from Google Earth. The angular size calculation of 900 feet, and of course 1,800 feet would be double this. These are the angular size measurements in degrees. And when I scale on the sun, we can see that yes, Toronto would not only be visible to the human eye, but most definitely with a P900. Here's the Earth curvature calculation for the globe drawing. This is the Glober scale drawing showing the horizon in actual size. And when I add in the angular size, we can clearly see that this photo is impossible on a globe Earth. And here are the compass bearings for sunset, and timeanddate.com did not have a listing for Oswego, so I used nearby Fulton right here. So the setting sun would be behind Toronto between these dates in March and these dates in September. So here's a chance for Gina or Waterworld to prove the Earth is flat, because this photo is definitely possible on a flat Earth. So photo number 4 is a chance for a flat earther to just demolish the current world record long distance photograph. The target is the Alps, tallest mountain is Mont Blanc. The location would be High Willhays in southwest England, and this is a distance of 602.6 miles away. And again, my scale drawing shows that this mountain in the Alps would easily be visible from that distance. Now, the only problem is that the sun would be behind those mountains between these dates, which is in the middle of winter. So what you would have to do is wait for a high pressure system with a lot of sun. But this photograph is definitely doable. So again, I'm going to quickly go through my data. Here's the elevation of Mont Blanc. This is the start of my flat Earth scale drawing in actual size. And this is some information on High Willhays, and you can see by the photograph over here, it is devoid of trees, so there would be nothing obstructing your view. This is the distance in miles. This is the calculation for the angular size of Mont Blanc. This is the angular size of Mont Blanc in degrees. And when I scale in the sun, it shows that yes, this would be possible on a flat Earth. This is the refracted hitting calculation. This is the start of the globe Earth scale drawing in actual size. And of course, it is quite evident that this photo is impossible on a globe Earth. And here are the compass bearings. So between these 2 points, there are mountains that are 10,000 feet and higher. Here are the November dates for sunrise, which actually goes into December, and the same for January, which actually goes into February. So if you are a flat earther who wants to settle this debate once and for all, and you also want to set a new world record long distance photograph, then I have given you all the information that you need. Of course, it doesn't have to be a photo of the Alps, because any of the other photographs will work too, because they're not possible on a globe. But you know, as a globe believer, I feel pretty comfortable that I'm not going to see any one of these photographs.